been so long. I don't remember how any of my camera gear works. I'm like, camera? What is camera? Then I realized I'm wearing a 90s revival J. Crew sweater while I have this mound of knitwear, much of which is sweaters beside me. I'm Michelle. This is my so-called handmade life, affectionately dubbed by one viewer as my so-called knitting podcast. I have a blog that I used to blog in a whole lot, and I used to Instagram a lot of stuff way back in the beginning of knitwear, and I used to do a lot of stuff, and I'm basically sort of has been, and I'm cool with that. So I just felt like kind of updating on things I've made, and I just want to get a conversation going again with some of you. I moved recently from one area of Texas to Central Texas. I love where I live. I love the environment around me. I'm outdoors a whole lot more, and that's cut into my knitting time. We've also done some remodeling on our home. I may have posted about it in my last episode I did over a year ago, where we took like 10 days and we did this crazy renovation of this home. Here we go. This crazy renovation of this house in 10 days. My back was kind of out of place when it began, and I thought, I don't know how I can do this. But the work actually, like all the wallering around on the floor and pulling carpet tacks and stuff, I don't know, it healed my back. I was great by the time I left, but we totally did stuff, redid our kitchen, all on a major budget, redid the floors downstairs, painted, and we've since remodeled a bathroom, and that was a little tiny bathroom. It was way more trouble than anything else due to supplies and stuff with the pandemic. So I haven't knit as much, but I still have a ton of knitting, as I keep alluding to over here. The mega pile. Plus I have a bunch at my feet, like here, to go through. But I don't think it's fair to like hit you with all of it at once. Remember that sweater episode I did where I had like over 100 sweaters and I tried them all on and I showed you? I really like that episode. Like, I like to go back and watch it because I'm like, oh, little sweaters that I gave away. I love you so. It's like my scrapbook of sweaters. But oh my gosh, the sound is so terrible that I just cringed through it. I don't know what iMovie was doing to mess with me, but every piece of music that I used to like introduce new segments of types of sweaters, it was terrible. So just have your volume ready, your remote handy if you watch it. But if you like knitwear stuff, especially knitwear through the ages, that was fun. However, I am not about to do that with all of these. I think I'm just going to focus on one designer I made the most stuff from in the last year. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One is it's Alexandra Tavel, 2 of Wands. That's her Instagram handle and I think her business name. You know, she partnered with Lion Brand to come up with the Hue and Me yarn line, and it's bulky. And because I haven't knit as much, when I do, I tend to want like my version of a comfort knit, and often that is bulky weight yarn. So I've knit a bunch of her things, and I showed you the beginning of maybe even the finished product of this Campfire blanket shawl or blanket wrap. It is like a throw. It's kind of narrow and long for a throw. It should be a little wider, but for one person around a fire, a campfire, totally. And of course you can wear it like an oversized blanket scarf. It's got a plaid look to it, which I love. Clearly I have a thing for stripes and plaid if you've looked in my Ravelry stuff, but look, it looks so sharp. And I think another reason that I knit a lot of these patterns is I had a lot of Lion Brand type wool laying around, and all of these patterns of hers are meant to be used with this kind of wool blend budget yarn. And so when you see her sample, you know, okay, in my budget yarn, this is how it's going to look. I find that really democratic. I like that she's so approachable. Many of her patterns are free. So if you had no money to spend on patterns, you could get a great taste of her design through all of her free patterns. And there's various types, like all the genre of patterns are covered there. Then they're affordably priced patterns anyway. Plus, all the yarn for them is constantly going on sale with Lion Brand. And Hue and Me is a really good bulky yarn. I like it better than Brava from Knit Picks. And I think I like it better than I used to like Wool East Chunky, which Lion Brand discontinued it. This is basically like that, but all the colors are so great. I really like her colors. So this is knit in Lion Brand's, I think it's called Shepherd's Wool, and it's their 100% wool. It's very, I don't know, rustic. Everybody says rustic now. I don't even know. Rustic. Every time I turn on YouTube, I see rustic modern. It's a marled color and then a dark brown and a taupe type tan, and the marl is a combination of the two. And then you can see these little vertical lines here and there where you run the yarn through. I really like that. I think it looks good on both sides. And I truly did finish it around a campfire and cover it with it around the campfire. This would be a really great one to take with you if it was very cold and you weren't sure how long you would be outdoors. Like if you were waiting to get in somewhere or looking at Christmas lights or something like that. Also from her, a throw is this harvest throw. Now I am like not buying yarn. I'm saying that the last 2 years. I did get the kit for this because I didn't have enough bulky yarn of any color to make this throw. I didn't want to stripe it because it's a very textured chevron. This is her harvest throw. And this is the Arrowwood colorway, which is sort of a burnt orange kind of thing. I really like this colorway. Isn't this like the perfect 70s grandmommy Afghan? My grandmommy did make Afghans this color in the 70s. This one was a fun knit to do at night. I said it was going to be my Christmas present to me, or my birthday present is what it became. I think I did finish it on my birthday. I pulled a muscle and I couldn't do any type of vigorous anything outdoors, and so all our plans for my birthday were ruined because of that. We were going to hike a bunch. So I just sat down and I mowed through. I wove in the ends for like 5 sweaters, maybe 6. I started the ends. I made great progress on that plaid sweater I made up, and then I finished this and did the fringe. So I had it by my birthday. This is big enough to be a lap blanket for 2. Definitely, if I turn it long ways, I can cover up completely with it. And if my husband and I are really bunched up and cold on the couch, we can totally cover, and it is warm. Like, I remember when I made it, he was like, "Oh, that's too warm." And now that it's winter, he's like, "Oh, give me that." So, this is the harvest throw. I had leftovers. I think it called for 9 skeins. I got the kit on sale, like 40% off, 35% off with Lion Brand. I had 1 skein left over, so I used it to make Alexandra's Seafarer's cap, which I made one in the past before. I love this color, and I think it looks super sharp with a navy peacoat, so I wear it. It would be a really good gift though, and I did this in one night. It took, like, all the way to here was 1 skein, and then this last little bit I had, I borrowed a little from another ball of Arrowwood that I have saved for something else. So I knit another Seafarer's cap with my leftovers from a vest I made. This is the Shadow colorway in the Hue and Me line. This is all Hue and Me. And I don't think I told you guys because I was living here. Last winter we had this crazy deep freeze that was coming for Texas. Nobody was prepared. You may have seen, like, there were pipes breaking everywhere, people without power, people died from it. We were very unprepared. I was outside trying to cover plants that I wasn't sure if they could survive and what to do. I now realize I've just got to let the native plants die. But we had some in our yard and I wasn't sure. And so I had my hair already in a big messy bun, which really just means I tried to make a neat bun and it didn't work. On top of my head, and then I put this on, and as I worked, boy, and the wind was blowing, I'm sweating and working with all these sheets. It just inched higher and higher, and pretty soon I had this on my head, and I'm like fighting and working, and these cars keep slowing down and looking at me, and I'm like, what's the deal? They're just watching me struggle. It's not like they're asking to help. And then another car does it, and then another, and I'm like, what is going on? And finally I turn around, and I'm calling, huh? At somebody, and I go inside and I realize they're seeing the cone head look on my head. You may have seen me on TikTok. Weird conehead woman covers plants in preparation for Texas storm. Anyway, I took a picture. For some reason, Alexandra did not put that in her Instagram stories. I don't know why. Let me show you this sweater, this vest. Oh, I'm not going to edit this. You're just going to see all the increasingly messier and messier hair and such. This is her Keaton vest, kind of based on Diane Keaton's Annie Hall character, which Annie Hall was my vibe as a teen. This is really cute. I knit it and I felt that it was too big. I think the first time I got to like right here, I started over. I did all this like before last January, so this is over a year old. And I went with a size down. And now I'm not remembering what that size is. I'll put it on the screen because I'm going to run out of space for this. I have a million scrapbook images that I've taken to record family scrapbooks. So you didn't need to know all that. I like the fit of this, but if it were more oversized, I think that that would be an even more modern fit and it would look really cute. And you could lengthen this. I kind of like it shorter. Oh, and this is not the kind of shirt I would normally wear it with. I mean, this doesn't look bad, but a collared Oxford type shirt, it really looks cute. Kind of tailored. I think it looks just very cute. I'm so pleased with this. This is Lion Brand yarn and it was maybe 4 skeins. Maybe 4 or 5. I think I got 5 and I didn't use the 5th, and that's what the hat came from. This was very on trend too. She was one of the first to come up with a vest back when people weren't knitting them very much. I mean, Isolde had some classic looking vests, but you know, they're everywhere now, but they weren't as common then. So anyway, I thought this was really cute. And then because I had leftover yarn, I'm like, what else is that designer doing? I knit the Seafarer's cap, and it's now a staple when I go on walks with my dog. Here's a, oh, here's another sweater. Oh, no. Speaking of hats, I did this one recently around the time of my birthday, when I was just stuck indoors anyway. I don't think this is really me. I say that. Battery issues. Okay, so I don't know that this is me. I recently was at a resale shop and I went on like the $5 bin and I got a pretty funky hat. So funky as in cool, not nasty. It looked really good, well taken care of vintage. So like, I'm not opposed to quirky at all, but I just don't know. I keep thinking Dr. Zhivago. This is the 2 of Wands Sophie bucket hat. It's the knit version of her Annie bucket hat, which might also be an Annie Hall thing. I'm just not sure about the faux fur. It's really hot. I just don't, it's very much for style type aesthetic and not really practical for the stuff I do outdoors. Like, I would immediately start sweating. I wore this to go walk my dogs and I thought it was super cold and I'm all bundled up and I'm wearing this faux fur and I'm walking my dogs and my neighbors are in shorts and they're like, hey, crazy lady. This would be a very fun knit. It's two skeins a day. You can knit this in a day if you wanted. For somebody who's more into like the most current trends, I know faux fur and of course bucket hats will never really go out of style. I did think if I modified this, let me just finish ruining my hair completely. If I modified the brim to be shorter so that it didn't roll, let's say it ended right here instead of coming so far down, and then it had a bit of a cloche look, that might be more wearable to me, but it's just a little too long for that, and I'm not going to go back and fix it. This is fine. This is the style. I just don't know if it's my style. Style. So, I'm more into the cone head. Look. All right, here is the Easton pullover, also by Alexandra. And like I said, I'm just going to focus on her stuff for this video because I have this much battery or memory space on my card. And if I'm going to do this, I just got to do it when I can do it, right? So the Easton pullover, I follow the directions. I did my striping like she did, just different colors of Hue and Me. I did make this with extra ease in mind. I wanted it to be nice and cozy, comfy. When I first made it, I thought, I think I estimated the amount of ease I would want. Let me try and show you. It is a very roomy. However, it's very roomy. It's very comfortable. So I wore it a ton last winter in the cold and everybody got sick of seeing me in it. You can see little pills on it. But honestly, for how much I wore it, it's not bad. The pilling isn't too bad. So there's that. Is there anything else by her? I showed you this bag, but my crochet skills, this is the canteen, crossbody canteen bag. My crochet skills weren't super, so I think there's a slight discrepancy between the size of the front and the back. And that still might not make a difference. Like, it's floppy, it doesn't hold its shape. What I decided to do based on a recommendation from two of you, I think it was Dawn and Katie, to use that mesh, plastic mesh, to make and just sew it to the inside of each, the front and the back, to hold it together. I could line it, but let's face it, I'm probably not going to. I did crochet it so thickly or tightly that I don't need a liner to hold things in it. This does feel a bit like nose-like. I don't know if I like it, but maybe if the body is held in its shape, I won't mind that. I am going to make her newest backpack design. I have some hemp yarn I can use for that. I want it to be like all year, not something that gets super pilly. So I have some hemp bulky weight yarn I'm going to use for it, and I'm going to go ahead and use, like I made D-rings. I made these tabs and attached a D-ring to use this strap that Alexandra did, like show the strap in her stories one day. I use D-rings. I'm going to use D-rings and leather straps or faux leather straps for the backpack. I might get a faux leather strap for this. I'm just not sure how I would attach it. So anyway, that needs work. I did show that to you guys. One last thing, the Illusionist infinity scarf. I made one of these for my daughter in shadow and some kind of rosy pink colorway, and it's so cute. I'll try and insert a picture. She looks so cute in it. It was for her Christmas gift last year. This is werewolf and desert colorways, I think. This is just a fun knit. It's like a mistake rib or broken rib. I'm not sure which. It's been so long since I made it. It has a brioche effect, but it's much easier and more intuitive than brioche and super fast to make. I think this is a great gift a great gift. And it's so, this bulk just feels kind of luxurious, and I just think it looks really good with the coat, you know, wrapped under your coat. I don't know. I'm really pleased with it. And of course the reverse, the sides look good. I think I have a mistake here, which I need to fix. Oh yeah, you can see there's one little stitch that I didn't do the right thing. Honesty. You will always find honesty in this podcast. So there's that I need to work on. I need to just take a little strand of the desert color and knit over it. Like stitch over it to cover it. But yeah, this was a really fun accessory. Like I said, I did one for my daughter as a gift, and I loved it so much making it. I wanted to keep making that design, and so I made one for me with stash yarn. So I think I've covered all of the things I made from that designer. I have some things I want to show you in the next one, some sweaters that I'm very proud of. I will sneak peek here if I can. I'm literally covered in knitwear. Just a little sneak peek. Finally woven ends on so many things that I had. I'm working on 2 sweaters right now. Oh, I can't wait to show you guys the Hope sweater. But I don't have space to talk about all of this. Look at the Hope sweater, everyone. It's a really cool design, and it was a lot of fun to work on. And then there's a couple of Dawn Barker knits that I've done that I want to show. A cowl and a shawl. So nice. So I'm going to stop here because I've got to get everything all cleaned up. And the mound here, my cat will be all over this soon. I don't know if anyone's even watching this anymore, and maybe that makes it easier to do it. Because like when I see views go up, I feel awkward, and then I'm like, oh, I never want to post another video again. Not that views ever went high. I'm not saying that, but it's that awkward factor. I don't even remember what we last talked about. I think it was commercialization of everything in the craft world and how you felt about it, and I was going to share how I felt. I read all of your comments. I made notes, but to go dig those notes up and talk about that, I need more battery space and I need more time. And I felt like if I don't just start kind of plugging away at some of these things I've made and just put myself back out there awkwardly talking to my camera, I'm never going to do it. And I said like literally 6 months ago, I'm fixing to do an episode to somebody, and I totally lied to you. I'm sorry. I'm not going to say I'm going to do anything anymore. I don't want to lie. But I've got some fun stuff though to show you. Some things I've made, some things I'm working on. I have 2 sweaters I'm working on, a pair of socks, and 3 sweaters. So 1 is in the body stage and 2 are just a sleeve left. That I'm very excited about. Some finished things. I want to show you what I finally wove in ends on. Like, hint, 3 years after making. 4 years for one of them. And I want to show you some stuff we've done around our house. Little DIYs and fix-its. Because I used to do a lot of that on my blog. But then, you know, I don't know, our lives got busy, and like I would take pictures as we worked on our old house. We were like slowly remodeling the whole place. It was a really old home. I would take photos, but then I'd be like, nah, and I wouldn't like put it online or show the, you know, progression of events. So I've had a lot of changes in my life. Like I said, I've been busier outdoors, which is a good change. I've also been assisting my husband. We're doing our own business, and all of that's very different. But it's good changes. I've gotten involved in a church here that I love. I'm really excited about, I don't know, the way people are living out their faith here. And I found a lot in common with a lot of people here. So it's all been good. Even the hard things have been good. For a while, I lived by myself for like 6 months. I went ahead and moved. We bought our home early. I moved, and my husband stayed to do work to get our home ready to sell, because we were, like I said, we were really entrenched. It was just really hard to work around all those things to do major like painting and renovation. So we moved ahead of time. And also, I mean, we didn't know at the time how home prices were going to go ridiculously high in this area. So it was good. We bought when we did. That way we were able to buy. And I was here for a while by myself, and it was a really good time of, healing. I was able to kind of really take time to think through things that happened growing up, and it was very good. It was a good time alone with God. So a lot of changes, but if you've asked me how I was doing, I really do appreciate you that have, and I'm doing fine. I'm good. I appreciate your interest in me, and this video is literally for you. I put it off way too long. So hopefully we'll get back into the back and forth. And I didn't do or say anything like I probably should have. This has all been super awkward. And if you've never watched me before, that's just what I am. I'm super awkward. I'm not selling anything. I'm not trying to be cute. I don't have the desire to try that hard. Also, I'm just sort of OD'd on social media culture around podcasts and branding and this and that. I'm just, those words, just like 5 tips on how not to spontaneously combust. And then an image of me going, for my thumbnail, I'm just kind of cringing, and it's literally pulled me away from social media the last year or two. I've just felt cheesed out, I guess. Anyway, so I'm not going to be slick like that. I may not edit much at all in this video, so you'll hear lots of ums and uhs. But I do like to ask questions and read your responses and respond to you in the next episode. So next episode, I want to talk some about that commercialization of everything in the craft world that you guys talked about. It'll be a longer episode. And how are you doing? What big changes have happened in your lives in the last year? So like, if you've commented much before with me or interacted with me on Instagram, I know you. Please comment here and say what changes the last year or so has brought to you. We've talked some about the changes due to the pandemic, and I hope it hasn't been too hard on you and your families. But just any changes, it doesn't have to be about that, just life changes. I feel like I haven't interacted with many of you unless we would contact each other on Instagram for a good year. How are you doing? And if you've never interacted with me, how are you doing? I'm interested. What's the last year been like for you? You know, it's one of those beginning of the year posts. You could take it that way. What are your hopes for the future? And how's the last year treated you? I'm interested to know, and I'd like to respond to you in the next episode. And that's pretty much all I got. I gotta close this up, stack this up, and go back downstairs because there's a little dog waiting at the bottom of the stairs, forlorn, because he can't come up. His hips, he doesn't need to walk up and down the stairs. And he actually was doing it. He found out my son keeps open granola in his room, and he got upstairs and he ate a bunch of chocolate granola, constipated and having bowel issues for a week. And so we made a baby gate for the dog. I think he's found out how to push his way through though. But anyway, my son's back at college, so there's no granola. And I need to go downstairs and spend some time with him. It was really nice talking to you guys. I'm dying up here in the sweater. Let me put on my mass-produced sweater again, because I'm all about handmade, you know. Bye.